Welcome to Tiger Talk. I'm Dave Williams, co-host, Jim Scobie Radio, and as always, the coach right here, Jim Scobie. And Scobe, who have we got on tonight? What we got going?
We've got a really good crowd tonight. We've got high school-wise, we've got Northwestern. The Warriors are here with their coach, Lance Lambert, and 3 of his players. And, of course, this show is called Tiger Talk. And we always love having the Tigers on. And we've got the coach, Jim Collins. He's with us, and he's brought 3 of his players in. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Both teams winning this week, and it always is easier to talk about things when you win. So we're looking forward to it. So make sure you hang on and be a part of it. It's our first week this year, and we are at the it's called the Center City Studios downtown in Springfield, kind of near the what we would call in the past the Chamber of Commerce. It's down in the Commerce Building, and fabulous digs. And gentlemen, just to let you know, we have Station 1 pizza on its way, because I know that's all that matters.
You don't think those guys want pizza, do you?
Oh my gosh, have you ever seen them eat? So it should be a lot of fun, and we're glad you're with us, and look forward to having you tonight. Want to thank Station 1 for being our main sponsor. And Dave, it's always good, man, to hang out with you over the years.
It's good to see you.
How long have we been together?
Long time. We love the fall.
We do.
Because we love high school football. We love college football. Baseball's winding down.
That's right.
There's no better time of year than fall.
And I feel bad for you. Your Browns got beat, but we won't get into that.
I'm going up there this weekend.
Okay. Hopefully Chubb will get better.
No.
So,
he's
but
done for the year.
let's get off of that. Let's talk about what we came for. Tiger Talk, and of course, the Northwestern Warriors coming up.
How about that?
Right after this.
All right.
Okay, we're going to. Hey, we're back here on Tiger Talk, and Dave Williams and myself, we are delighted to get to meet the first-year coach, Lance Lambert. Lance, good to have you here. Your first year as a coach, former Tiger. I know Jim Collins likes that. And also you were a quarterbacker at West Jeff, a pretty great program there. You brought your dad, you brought your brother, you brought everybody from the town. I mean, West Jeff's got to be mad at you right now. But tell us a little bit about what this first year's been like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously bringing over this, my dad and
hold that real close. Oh
yeah, my bad. But, bringing over my dad and a lot of guys that I played with, has been a great success for us. We've sort of came into a program and try to revitalize it. I think, the community is excited. Most importantly, I think the kids are excited about what we're trying to do here. And, overall, we just we've had some success so far. I think we've blundered a few games, but our kids understand where we've got to go from now, and we're just taking the process day by day.
Coach, a lot of close games. What did you hear about Northwestern before you took the job?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. To be honest with you, a lot of people maybe warned me about taking the job. Northwestern hasn't had a ton of great success in the past, but what we saw coming in, especially the guy, my brother, my dad, and I, what we saw coming in was a community that supported its football team and a lot of young kids who were good football players, but just no one had ever taught them how to win. And that's what we're trying to do right now. We've had a lot of close football games, and unfortunately in those games we've kind of beat ourselves, and so it's all about the process of teaching how to win football games instead of just playing the game.
And Coach, you're 2-3 going into this Friday, a homecoming against Ben Logan. Your big wins have been against of course, this past Friday, you beat Tecumseh 28-7
on the road.
And I know a lot of people I put out a high school score, some scores every week, and people were like calling me, going, "Did you get that right?" I said, "Absolutely." And of course, you beat Greenon earlier, 35-0. But your other 3 games, can you tell us a little about you guys? You've been in all of them.
Yeah, we've lost 3 games by a combined 20 points. So we've kept it within really 10 points every game. And so, that's what we're talking about. We're in every game. We have a chance to win every game. It's at this point, it's about execution. It's about being the more disciplined team and not shooting ourselves in the foot from time to time.
Did you know your athletic director before this particular year? Did you?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Actually, Mr. Beals, he's the one who sort of introduced me to Northwestern. And at the time, he was an assistant principal there. And, he interviewed me at Wittenberg, actually. So he interviewed me at Wittenberg, got me into the door. I was an assistant coach here last year, and then took the job in January.
Well, you must have done something right, because your homecoming is coming up this Friday. You're playing your first homecoming against Ben Logan, and don't get it wrong. I know they'll be really, really tough. What's their record?
They're 0-5 so far. Yeah, okay. Absolutely.
And so you're going to make sure the athletic director at Christmas he'll get something special. I'm kidding. You've got a young man here beside you, a sophomore. You've got some really good sophomores, 8 sophomores that are playing. Preston Allen is with us. He is the Mike linebacker. His buddies are senior Jake Schaefer, wide receiver, and sophomore Reed Smith, quarterback. As he was coming up, he said, "I'm the best-looking guy out of all 3." And so we're glad to have you, Preston. Tell us a little bit about what this experience has been like with Coach and this year, your expectations.
It's been pretty good. Coach turned the program around a lot, got the guys thinking we can actually win games, and we've been doing it, but we've had a few losses that shouldn't have been losses, costly mistakes, but I just think it's going to be a good year for us.
Preston, talk a little about what Coach alluded to, the fact that you have great support out there at Northwestern. Even in lean years, they've always had great fan support. Talk about how much fun it is to play in front of the fans.
Oh, it's really fun. Everybody, win or loss, they're just out there to support us, and they let us know.
Talk to me a little bit about playing that Mike linebacker. I got to believe you love hitting people.
Oh, yeah.
What is that like for those who don't get to do that? Certainly you have to make sure you're doing everything, the checkoffs and all that. But what is it that you guys do on defense that is special out at Northwestern right now?
It's special because the coach, our linebacker coach, Coach Dillon, he knows what he's doing, and he gets us right. And then it's just fun because, main guy out there, you get to hit everyone. But then you have to make sure everyone's in line, can't have any mistakes, and it's your job to make sure there's none.
Now, are you a yeller, or you just kind of do things by example?
Kind of both. Just depends.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty good answer.
How much work did you put in the summer, Preston?
I was there every day, so I put in a lot of work.
Doing the lifting and...
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Preston, good to have you. We're going to get senior Jake Schaefer next. We'll have Jake come on up and
Thanks, Preston.
grab him.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you coming on, my man.
Yep.
Here you go. Yep. Good luck Friday.
Thank you.
Have you got a date for the homecoming?
Yep.
I hope so.
Yeah, we don't want Coach trying to fix you up. He's
No, I
always trying
did.
to fix the
I
guys
did
up.
that once.
Yeah.
How you doing, Blake?
I'm
Or
doing
Jake,
pretty.
excuse me?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I am really, really glad to be here.
That's
I'm glad
good.
that we have a chance to do Tiger Talk. It's one of my favorite things in the year. And I get to hang out with my old friend Dave. He keeps getting older and older. But, yeah, we're delighted to have you. You are, again, one of the key seniors, wide receiver. What has Coach got you doing, or does he have you doing a lot more routes? Are you blocking more? What's going on?
Oh, well, he's got me doing a little bit of everything. So
Tell them about your path a little bit. I mean, Jake's
I mean-
bought into what we're about and sort of, the whole team thing.
So you bought in. How have you bought in, Jake?
well, my sophomore year, I started as a quarterback for us, and that was good. Going into my junior year, I was getting ready to play quarterback again, and herniated a disc in my back, so that ended my season. And then coming into this year, switched positions, played receiver for us. Been getting better at that every day. Trying to be the best I can for the team.
How much do they throw the ball around, Jake? Do you guys throw a lot? You run a lot? Pretty much 50-50?
Oh, we like to sling it.
You like to sling it? You got to love that as a wide receiver. You're always saying, hey, I'm open.
I do.
I'm open.
Sure am.
Reed, I'm open, man. I'm right here.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever go, man, this guy can't hold me? Do you ever go back? I mean, I know the coaches are making all the calls, but do you ever go, man, I can take this guy. He is so easy.
Oh, all the time.
All the time. That's good. That's good. Who's your favorite player in the NFL?
My favorite player in the NFL. I grew up watching Russell Wilson as a Seahawks fan, so
Okay.
he's always been my
That
favorite quarterback.
mentality. Good for you.
Coach, talk a little bit about Jake's game.
Oh, yeah, thanks, buddy. He does come back to the huddle sometimes and say, "I can take this guy." It helps that he's 6'4", right?
Yeah, he's got great size.
And the CBC, we see corners that are pretty undersized compared to Jake, and so he's a great matchup. Our X receiver in our system is oftentimes backside one-on-one with a lot of guys, and his game has developed every week. The kid's only been playing receiver for 6 weeks now,
That's
right?
incredible. That's
And so we've been able to get him the ball from here and there, but we're trying to find ways every week to get him the football even more, right?
Yeah.
Get him in space.
You got to
get
be a
him in
real
space.
weapon near the end zone with that size.
He absolutely is, and in the red zone, when things get tighter, right? It's just it's nice to have a guy where you can
Throw
throw
that
the
fade,
ball
man.
up
Throw
and let him
that
go get
fade.
that thing, So,
Yeah.
as a former quarterback, it's
gotta love
just
that.
you gotta love it, right? Yeah.
As a senior, Jake, your family, I got to believe your family is excited for you, the fact that you're playing your senior year. Does your family come to all the games, and what's that like? Is it really cool to have everybody there?
Oh, it's always been great. They've always been there, supporting me all the way through my journey. It's always been good.
Jake, talk a little bit about you missed your junior year because of injury. Talk a little about working your way back.
Had to be
how
hard.
tough it was.
Oh, well, that was pretty tough. So I missed that whole year. I had to go to physical therapy for like 6 weeks. Just grind it out and then come back, start lifting again. It was tough.
Yeah.
That'd be a tough one. And what the cool thing about football, and we talk about it a lot, it has so many things it teaches us about life. And, we're not going to get to play football our whole lives. And so I know Coach and many of the teachers, administrators out there at Northwestern, their desire is that everyone, grows and develops, discipline and wisdom to carry on through life. So it sounds like you've gotten a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to take Reed Smith. We're going to find out how much Jake Schaefer tries to bogart his buddy and get some passes. So we'll
Thanks
have.
so much, Jake.
Appreciate
All right,
it,
thank
Jake. We'll have Reed Smith coming up, sophomore. Thanks, buddy. Reed, was it hard to is this your first year as a quarterback?
Yes, this is my first year.
That had to be a lot of pressure. What has that been like? I'm sure you're excited about it and wanted to do it.
Yeah, I'm very excited. You know, I love quarterback. I grew up loving quarterback, you know. A lot of pressure coming out just on me and my team, but, you know, I'd like to thank my teammates. You know, they were always there for me, and Coach Lambert, he was always there for me. Taught me a lot about quarterback.
You have to have confidence, and I know that's probably one thing we have to all learn is there can't be a whole lot of fear, worry, stress. I mean, you're going to have stress, but you've got to fight through that. Who would you say in your life has helped you fight through some of the fears to become a confident person that you are?
You know, I'd like to thank my friends, actually. You know, they've been there. They've been a big role in that, actually.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Reed, talk a little bit about the trajectory of the team this year. Getting better each and every week.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I love that game last week.
Oh, yeah, it was a great game last week. Loved it. Yeah, no, we're getting better every week, for sure. You know, Coach has been hard on us. It's been good.
Coach, do you have many play both ways?
Yeah, we're a program where we play Ironman football.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, we play Ironman football. You know, we only have 40 kids on the roster. We're starting 6 or 7 sophomores on basically both sides of the football.
Yeah.
So we've got to be the best, you know, the team that's in best shape, and you know that's what we preach to our kids. You know, we practice hard, we practice fast. And, you know, like Reader said, you know, we coach hard. Without a doubt we do. But, you know, the most important thing is the kids understand that we love them and that, you know, we do the discipline things and we do the running so that we are better able to win football games and to have success not only, you know, in football but in life as well, you know.
Does Jake play defense also?
Jake, you know, Jake plays not much defense for us, okay? But, you know, he's
Well, you like to protect your quarterback.
Also, yeah, we do. Yeah, absolutely. You know, Reader plays both sides of the ball. Preston plays both sides of the ball. You know, and you know, Jake's again, like I said, he's only played receiver for 6 weeks. So whenever we're on Team D, he's in the scout huddle, working on his craft there too.
Coaches,
Jake, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Jake, I was just going to ask you, talk a little about. Everybody knows 3 parts of football: offense, defense. How's your special teams been this year?
We've been pretty good. Yeah, we've had our ups and downs, but
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. We've been pretty good.
Okay.
You know, and as we finish out with you guys, first of all, we're delighted about your win, and we haven't had you on for a number of years, so we're so excited to have you on today and proud of you. But I have to mention what a very tough year this has been for the Northwestern community. Of course, the young man Aiden Clark who died in that bus accident. There are no words at how horrific that was. And Coach, I wanted to hear, you know, you shared some things with me before the season that were pretty powerful about what you've learned from the community. And, you know, we always talk about Warrior Strong, and we've seen it in our community. It's been an amazing thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, obviously it's hard to deal with something of that nature and try to put it in perspective for, you know, for yourself, let alone, you know, a group of 14 through 18-year-olds, you know, and you know, the entire community was affected by it. But again, you go back to that support, right? You know, the Northwestern community supports us greatly. And it was really, you know, the Greening game, that win for us coming, you know, 5 days after the accident, you know, it was I kind of, you know, talked to our kids. It was our turn to sort of support our community and give them, you know, give them something to be proud of and something to rely on, you know. So, you know, I think we responded well. This team has handled adversity all year long, and they just keep coming back, which is just what we ask for.
Yeah, exactly.
Coach, I imagine your first goal's got to be to win your division. Then the second goal, hey, it's not 4 teams in the playoffs anymore. It's not 8 teams in the playoffs. 16 teams make the playoffs now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great opportunity for teams.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk to our kids, before every season. Our 3 goals, as far as football goes, is to win our league, make the playoffs, and then try to make it to the regional finals. Those are the three goals every year, and for as long as the staff is at Northwestern, that'll be our 3 goals. From the regional finals, then it becomes really good football, and you're ready to rock. As a program who's never really made a playoff run, we talked to our kids and about what that would mean to the community and what it would mean for us as a program. That opportunity to get in, and then from there it's playoff football. You just don't know what's going to happen. That would be a huge success for us.
Yeah.
The Northwestern Warriors, again, we're so proud of them, and want to thank Reed Smith, Jake Schaefer, Preston Allen, and Coach, we just thank you, Lance Lambert, for coming on tonight, and we're delighted. We hope we can bring you on again soon, and we wish you the best. Thanks for coming on today. The Northwestern Warriors football team and homecoming this Friday.
Beat those Raiders, Coach. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it,
and
guys.
we'll be right back after this message.
Oh, thanks. Appreciate it.
Welcome back to Tiger Talk. I'm co-host Dave Williams with the coach Jim Scobie, and now we have Coach Collins with us from Wittenberg. And Tigers off to a great 2-0 start. And Coach, the thing I want to ask you about, watching the first game, that game at Dubuque, what an unbelievable game. Tigers down 14-0, down 13 points in the fourth quarter, but you find a way to come back and win.
Well, it was a heck of a win, and really tough conditions on the road. It was really hot that day, and our guys just battled. And we knew we had a great preseason. Our guys put a lot of work in the summer, and we knew if it got to the fourth quarter and we were in that game, we had the ability to come back. And we showed a lot of grit, and guys made plays, and the defense came up big, and the offense put the points on the board. And really, total, all 3 phases. We had a big punt return by Tyler May in that third quarter that kept us in it when we were struggling a little bit offensively. And, it was that type of game where everybody contributed, and we needed everybody to contribute in order to win it.
Coach, what did you learn from that game? And then, of course, you had the week off, and they always say you can learn a lot in that week. And then, of course, Kenyon, you beat them 56-17 on Saturday. But what have you learned about your team, and what do you like about your team?
First of all, we got great leadership. And we've got 3 seniors in here today that are on the defensive side of the ball that are doing a great job of leading and making plays. But we've got great leadership in all phases from our seniors and our upperclassmen. And it, when we get into a situation where it's a practice or it's a game condition or just in the weight room, our guys know how to handle adversity. They know how to work through the a little bit of pain and strain, and I think we got a team that's tough, physical, and love playing the game and love each other. And I think that's one of the things as a football program that you're looking for. You want guys that want to play for each other, and that's what we have.
That's awesome. awesome. The game against Dubuque, a long trip. Those are awful tough. You had to. What is that like for people who don't know? Did you go up a day early? You probably, if you did, you stayed somewhere and had a friend or someone that had a place for you to work out. I mean, that's how we used to do it in basketball. What was that whole trip like?
We left. We practiced on campus early Friday morning, and then hopped on the bus, stopped about halfway, and then we ended up staying in East Moline, Illinois, which is about an hour and 15 minutes south of Dubuque. So that was about an 8-hour trip total.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, but I like, and I know our team likes those long trips, overnights, and I think it's great for
kind of bonding.
It's great for team bonding. I think it keeps your focus on the task at hand. You're able to meet with guys. You're really able to, I think, focus on the game and the preparation. And then we drive up that morning, hour and 15 minutes to Dubuque, and they've got a nice facility, so we had a chance to walk around their facility a little bit, and then we kicked it off. And once again, I think it was one of those games we were excited to play. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of emotion from our group, and once again, we played the full 60 minutes. Our guys hung in there and battled, and they
also,
battled.
You get the lead, and then Dubuque's driving. All they need is a field goal, and they win the game. Tigers come up with a huge sack down the ball game. I mean, it was just tremendous.
Awesome.
What was great to see, too, is, our coaches got aggressive there. We called an all-out blitz, cover zero, and our guys let it rip, and we got in there and made the play. And then
Tiger up, baby. Tiger up.
Exactly.
Talk a little bit about Connor's game.
Well, it's really, we've got all three levels of defense represented today, and our guy, and Connor is our guy in the front. We've switched to a 3-4, but still a lot of the things we're doing is rushing four guys, and Connor's one of those guys that can do it all. He can rush the passer, and he can defend the run. He's physical, he's long, plays with I think a lot of great technique and is physical. That's the thing. You got guys sometimes that they're physical, they don't use great technique. Connor's a total package, plays a great technique, has really grown as a player. And you can see our D-line, I think, as the preseason went on and then these first 2 weeks, they've really matured. They've had a great grasp of the system. And I think the nice thing about our system is people don't know where we're coming from in the 3-4. And Connor's a guy that can edge rush. He's also a guy that can slant down
defensive
into the
end,
gap.
really good player.
Yeah, so he's doing everything for us right now in terms of stopping the run and rushing the passer. And we just got to keep getting better as a football team because
Connor,
the competition's going to get better.
One of the questions I've got, and that is, you went to Centerville.
Yeah.
We don't usually let Centerville people come to Springfield.
It's funny. So I remember
because the
here.
Wildcats, I played and coached at Springfield, and we didn't like those guys.
Yeah, I remember coming here my freshman year, and so many people gave me a hard time about being from Centerville. But it's just one of those things where you got to show your work ethic. And
I'm just kidding. The respect factor of to be a Centerville Elk is pretty amazing, and now they have basketball. That's the other thing. So
Connor, how do you like rushing that defensive end? Is there anything better than getting a sack?
I love it. It's very difficult to do it on a consistent basis, but getting paid, there's no better feeling. And celebrating with your teammates, just because you know how many times you've run that exact same rep, that exact same play, and to actually execute it in the game. I mean, there's no better feeling.
You know what I loved about this game, and I mentioned it a lot on the broadcast, and I don't think Coach did it as much with the defense, but with the offense, I noticed a lot. He wasn't real happy with what was going on at times with the offensive line and everything. And he brought everybody over, and he had, you could see him get a little into it, and it was like they're beating this team by a lot. And I've always loved coaches that really teach those kind of games. A lot of people will say that you just let it go, let them do whatever. No, I really thought your coach was really into it and was emotional, even though you had the lead, and I just love that. I think that says so much to the players that, man, our coach, he's all in. How do you feel about just him and the staff?
I mean, well, first off, our coaching staff does a great job of letting us know the standard, and they hold us to a very high standard, but it's only to our benefit. You know what I mean? And I mean, to have a passionate coaching staff, I mean, that's a player's dream. Guys who are really bought into not only what's going on now, but what's going on after college. They teach us to be great football players, but they also teach us to be great men as well. So I mean, it's a win-win for everybody.
Super.
Talk about when you have that big lead. How hard is it to stay focused when you have a big lead? Late in the third quarter.
Hopefully, when we have a pretty big lead like that, we try to let our young guys, go get a shot and prove themselves.
And that's got to be exciting. Seeing those guys do well.
They, I remember being a young guy too and getting on the field, and there's no better feeling that. I mean, their parents come out just like our parents do. So I mean, it's always nice for them to be.
You know what I noticed though, is I remember when I played basketball, but it's the same way in football. I played a little bit, but you could see as the game went on in the second half, Coach, that lots of guys. It started out with as you look at the sideline, real flat, but as the game went on, these second and third string guys just start coming around Coach, and it was just like he had like an entourage, because those guys are all going, can Coach see me? And I remember that stuff in basketball, is leaning out and just doing whatever, getting in front of the coach and going, because it's just funny. Everybody wants to get in the game, So.
But you got to feel good when somebody does get in the game and you've got a nice lead and they make a good play. You got to feel good for your teammate, Pat.
Oh yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you got to celebrate with everybody. I mean, we all put in, the same amount of work, and it's just really rewarding, for guys who don't normally get to see the field, do big things, and that just shows, what this team is going up with next. I mean, we have a lot of young guys really hungry and on the come up. So,
Coach, you were talking about every year, you always play that first game, then you got a week off, then you go to the second game. That's ending next year, right? Do you have a game in week 2?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, not yet. But we have that week open again, and we're still looking for a game for next year. We play Baldwin Wallace to open the season.
Oh,
how neat is that?
And then week 2 is still open right now. Although
you're thinking about having
we're thinking we want to play week 2. And that's it's nice having a break at some point in the season, so the bye is valuable.
It's so early.
But when you have it that early, it's what we use it for. Really, is just to extend kind of preseason camp.
I could see that.
And just use it to practice and work on things that we think we need to work on. But when you come out like we did out of the gate against Dubuque and then have that week, the most important part of it, I think, is winning that football game, you know, because now your guys showing up every day excited with a lot of energy because they see how good they can be.
Yeah.
And getting a lot of value out of that bye week, and I think it really served us well in terms of just not just preparing for Kenyon, but making us better football players.
Connor Walls, we appreciate you coming on, my man. Thank you, and tell us about Cameron Snurr. He's a senior out of Springboro, linebacker.
Yeah. Well, Camo Snurr is going to come up now, and Camo's a 2-time captain for us.
Yeah.
And that captain spot's voted on by your teammates, so he's well respected, and obviously first team all conference linebacker last year, and and the standard Camo's wearing number 33, and that's a number that has a lot of significance in the Wittenberg program.
Right.
As a matter of fact, you have to interview for that jersey.
Do you really?
Did
not know that.
With the other guys that wore that jersey. Well, there's just been a lot of good players that have worn it through the years, and now the tradition is built. So those guys.
Did not know that.
So as a coach, basically as a coach, you say, I want Camo Snurr to wear 33, and then those guys that wore 33 before get on the phone on a conference call with Camo. And it's pretty serious stuff, isn't it, Camo?
Kind of neat, man.
So it's really neat. And that's, we talk about playing hard and being physical and playing with discipline. All that stuff's Wittenberg football.
Yeah.
That's the standard at Wittenberg, and traditions like the 33 number is just a part of the tradition.
Camo, you are also a GWalk guy from Springboro, and they get you pretty ready in the GWalk, don't they?
They do. I felt very prepared coming here, and I think that just goes a lot to say how good of a program Springboro has, like in the off season, and
absolutely,
I think that goes for a lot of GWalk teams.
And your coach is a former Tiger.
He is. Coach Wilhite,
Yeah, really
I believe,
Coach.
coached at Wittenberg for a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
And Coach was talking about how important it was to win that first game, especially when you have the next week you're off. It's not like baseball or basketball. In baseball, you lose a game, hey, you're right back at the next day. Basketball, maybe a couple days. Football, you lose a game, it's in your stomach for a whole week, isn't it, Camo?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think we dealt with that last year going to SUNY, and this year was a little different. We got a big win at Dubuque, but we were right on to the bye week, and Coach said this a lot, but I think we had the best practice week that we've had in a bye week since I got here. So that week was big for us to just keep building on that win and going to Kenyon.
Camo, as you look back at your years at Wittenberg, who were some of the players that really challenged you, players that you still look up to in life?
Yeah, when I came in, Logan Jessico, we called him Juice. He was the middle linebacker, and he wore 33 my sophomore year. So that was kind of my tiger, is what they call it. I was kind of his cub. He taught me a lot about the game my freshman and sophomore year. And then we had guys like Jordan Berkey was at safety. Michael Fissinger and Mike Knock were both Springboro guys, and I also played with them a couple years in high school and then came here and played with them. So that was pretty cool.
That's really neat, really neat. Well, we want to thank you for coming on, Camo, and wish you the best. You got a pretty tough game coming up. We're going to talk to Coach right at the end a little bit about Alma. And
how excited are you to take on Alma?
It's going to be a great game. I think it's a great game for us to play, especially before Denison.
Yes.
And Alma's a really good team, but we are too, so it's going to be a dogfight.
Yep. Sounds good. Well, we're going to go ahead and get Christian Sweet.
Thanks so much, Camo.
He's a senior safety from Hilliard-Davidson, had a big interception.
Coach, by the way, it used to be Wittenberg and Wabash kind of controlled the league. A lot of teams getting better and better. Denison's been really good the last few years. Hyatt Wesleyan's coming on. It's always a battle, isn't it?
Well, it is, and I think that the top half of the league is super competitive. DePaul has won the league the last 2 years, and so it's challenging. There's no doubt about it, and but you have it no other way. I say that all the time. As a coach and as a player, if you're a competitor, you want to play the best every week. That's the bottom line. You want to get in. You want to go into that type of game every week where you're going to be challenged, where you got to really play hard and play well and execute to win. And that's and that's what Wittenberg, as I said, that's what Wittenberg football is all about. So in order to be the best, you got to play other teams that are really good, and you got to beat them.
And that's why Wittenberg is considered in the top 5, I would say, as far as Division III college football in America. So what they stand for, and great academic school, and yet to also be a phenomenal football program is pretty neat. We have got, before we get into talking to Sweet, you guys won pretty handily this past week, 56-17. Garrett Gross had a nice day. Dean Tate is leading the league in receiving. He had 2 touchdowns. Tyler May, Troy Teepee had touchdowns. It was just a day. Reed Hall, Cleve Benson, Bryce Anderson, and Max Milton. He had 203 yards passing, along with Gross had 212 yards rushing and 79 yards receiving for Dean Tate. Coach, those are some pretty good numbers. But you're going up against a team that really can put up high numbers. What's the young man, Saint, their quarterback? I've got it here, but he's putting up some amazing numbers. I know your defense is going to be challenged.
Well, I think Alma is a wide open offensive team. They've got weapons at the receiver position.
St. John Carter is the quarterback.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of talent at the skill position, so it's a good quarterback. He extends plays. The receivers have speed. They catch the ball well. They can run it as well. They're balanced. The quarterback runs it real well. And then the other side of the ball, they've got 10 seniors and they're very experienced and they play hard and
they won their league last year.
And they won their league last year. Yeah. So Alma's they're a program right now that's that's having a lot of success. They made the playoffs last year, so it's exciting. As I said, it's exciting to play a playoff team, and you know, our goal is to win our conference and make the playoffs. So you know, we get a chance to get a little bit of a taste of what playoff football is like, to get a team on the schedule that was in the playoffs last year, and I'm sure their goals are the same.
Joining us, Christian Sweet,
Christian Sweet. Go ahead,
senior
Dave.
safety. And Christian, do you play more of a free safety, strong safety, or do they designate that? And
Yeah, so last year I was more of a strong safety, but with this new defense that we're kind of running now, I'm more of a free safety, kind of roaming around and playing a lot more deep than I was last year.
do you have any preference? And
No, I just want to go out there and make plays and help the offense get the ball back in their hands. So
how exciting is it, the challenge you got coming up Saturday against Alma?
yeah, it's very exciting. Like Snurr said, we have a really good team, and this is going to be a huge test for us. They're a really good team as well, really good receivers. You guys said really good quarterback. It's exciting. We know we got to prepare all week and have a great week, and it's going to be a dogfight.
Christian, very few times does a defense get a chance when they can turn the ball over and pick it up. You got an interception. Talk about that, what that was like, and just how important it was.
Yeah, you know, that's as a defensive player, you know, that's some of our goals every week is like you guys said, we have really good offense. We have really good skill players on our team, really good running backs. We want to get that ball back in their hands. That's like our number one goal every week is to create turnovers, especially this week. I don't know if that quarterback has an interception yet or if he's thrown one yet.
He's got a few.
Yeah, I think they got called back, actually, so I'm not sure if he's stuck or
Mm-hmm.
not. But, you know, that's huge this week. If we can keep the ball out of their skill
Great
guys'
point.
hands,
Yep.
and then we can put the ball in our skill guys' hands, and that'd be huge for us. So, you know, that stuff, it feels great in the end, but, you know, you turn the page and you move on to the next week.
We were talking about with Connor about how great it is to get that sack as defensive end. Got to feel great to get a pick.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it feels great. And like Connor said, you know, celebrating with your teammates, you know, we put so much work into this. You know, this is actually my 5th year being here. COVID year gave me an extra year of eligibility, and that's one of the reasons I came back is the love of the game and the love for my teammates, you know. So we have a great group of guys, and when I make a big play, I just want to go be with those guys and celebrate with those guys.
Coach Collins, I think we got a coach coming up with that mentality. I like some of the stuff he's saying. It's pretty good.
Well, you know, that's where what we talked about before. What I like about this team is we've got maturity and we've got great leadership. And our guys, they're not just, you know, talking the talk. They walk the walk as well. And you know, that's what you want on the field. You want coaches on the field, especially at the safety position, you know, to have a guy that's a leader back there. And,
coach talk.
You know, our 2 safeties are both seniors with Anthony Pedro back there. And these guys get guys lined up and do a great job, I think, of directing traffic. And, you know, just I use this past game as an example. Christian was you know, very emotional, and that's what you want. You want high energy, emotional guys. And, you know, at some point in that second quarter, I say, okay, we got to relax a little bit, okay, because we might get too emotional here.
Yeah.
But
We got to have a little gas at the end.
You know, but I think that's the thing right now. Our guys are playing with a ton of energy and practicing the same
and
way.
You got to have that.
Yeah,
there's no
this
doubt. Saturday.
Yeah.
And that can happen, Coach. You can't come out too high sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, I'd rather be too high than too low if I had to choose.
Right.
But you know, that's one of the great things about playing at home and playing in big games. That's why you come to Wittenberg, is to play in these big games.
Well, we're going to let Christian go his way, and thank you for coming on up. We're going to ask a few questions to Coach Collins and go from there.
Maybe Christian can attack that pizza like he does.
I wish you would. Wish you would.
Thanks, buddy.
You guys got to finish that stuff. Yep, thank you. Coach, you know, a couple things that I had written down. To win games in big games, you know, you have to force turnovers, and you can't have turnovers. And I know that's something that's so important, and I think that will be something very clear going into this game. 2 really good teams, but things like turnovers and penalties really can make a difference in a game. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, no doubt the turnovers are going to play a big part. And Alma is done a great job in their first 3 games. They've played 3 games. They've won all 3 handily, and they're plus 11 right now in the turnover.
Oh, my goodness.
ratio. Yeah, so
wow.
That's impressive. So obviously we got to do a great job protecting the football, and we got to create turnovers. You mentioned penalties, and you're going to get some penalties at times. If your guys are playing aggressively, you're going to get penalties. But what you don't want are foolish penalties that cost you. And so we got to be able to keep our poise. We got to be disciplined, and that's going to be huge. And then it's going to come down. You got to make plays when the pressure's on. And there's going to be points in that game where it's third down or you're in the red zone, goal line, whatever it is, and you got to come up big.
Coaches talk a lot about field position. Is that something that do you pound on that, just how important that is? I know, you read the books of Tressel and guys like that, and that's one of their big things. You would think they'd talk about other stuff, but those are the things, I guess, that kind of can make a difference as the game goes on.
It's huge. I use that Dubuque game as an example. There was a little bit of wind in that third quarter. We were pinned down in our own end and just couldn't seem to get out of it. And our defense did a great job of keeping us in it. But field position's huge because offenses that don't have to go as far on a drive to score usually have a higher percentage of scoring touchdowns. So that field position's about getting 3 and outs. It's about moving the football offensively, and it's also about having a great kicking game.
Yeah. Really
have you noticed the difference in the game this year with the new rules, where the clock doesn't stop after a first down?
Interestingly enough, Dave, in Division III, we didn't get the new rule. The new college
is that right?
Rule.
It still stops.
It still stops, which is I think a good thing for us. They did that because most Division III games are not on live television, and the real reason for those rules were just to shorten the games to fit in a TV slot. So we were fortunate enough to escape that rule, and I think it's a great thing because you're still getting more plays, and these kids work so hard. You get 10 guaranteed games, so to not have the game shortened in any way, I think is a great benefit for us in Division III.
Well, as you say, and if you have a nice lead, you can play more players, with the old rules.
And it was great to see us play all those guys this past week. We had a lot of young guys playing the game, and a lot of guys that really did a good job, and made plays. We had a couple guys score touchdowns that was their first ever touchdown. So a lot of exciting things when you get a chance to play a lot of people and get them experience and get them the joy of getting out there and competing in a varsity football game at Wittenberg.
Well, Coach, we're about at the end now, but we really want you to know that we're so excited about Tiger Talk and being back playing football. And this is one of those weeks where we talk about Tiger and up. We talk about how you come to Wittenberg to play in these kinds of games, and you really want to play your very best. And you've said it. If you play your very, very best, that's all that matters. And the chips will fall. How much fun would it be to take a piece out of this team and get a win at home? And that's that is our goal, and boy, we're looking forward to it.
Yeah, we can't wait. And that's the thing you mentioned. One game a week is what you get as a football team, and so you put every ounce of effort into the preparation, watching the film, practicing hard, the walkthroughs, the weightlifting, as you mentioned, Jim, before
3 times a day.
Yeah, and all that preparation for that. Those 60 minutes on Saturday. So our guys are going to be ready. They're going to let it rip and play extremely hard. And at the end of the day, as a Wittenberg Tiger, you take the field to win. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, get out there Saturday. Be a part of this. We need our fan support. We need people from the city of Springfield and Clark County to be at the game. Of course, there's always a great crowd from the Tigers. But this is a weekend we just really need to come together. And Coach, it's good to be back with you. And you're in that zone, which I love when you get in that and fired up for Wittenberg football. And Dave, good to have you back.
Yeah,
and
always good to see Coach Collins.
How do you like the digs?
I love it down here.
Isn't this neat?
This is a really cool venue to have this at, and I know our guys enjoy the heck out of being able to come down here and do this, and it's always good connecting with the high school coaches and players that get a chance to come to this as well. And Coach Lambert's doing a great job at Northwestern. There's no doubt about it.